Thank you, David. Good evening. My name is Kevin Ferrier. As many of you know, I've been a lifetime member of Marvin United Methodist Church, and I'm pleased to be serving currently on the Board of Trustees. My wife, Kay, sends her greetings this evening. She was not able to attend. She's recovering from foot surgery that she had done last Friday, so she regrets that she was not able to come. The doctor told her that it wouldn't probably be a good idea. And like Claudia Carroll said this in my ear just a little while ago, we seem to have a few mobility issues here with our people here today. Saving for a rainy day. Well, Doug Baker wanted me to come up here in a raincoat and some rain boots and singing in the rain, but as you can tell, I declined. But saving for a rainy day is our theme for today and for this next fundraising drive, and it's important because it pertains to existing issues with rain and moisture penetration through our roofs and our masonry walls throughout our campus. Almost all of our exterior walls, as you can see, are constructed of brick or brick veneer, and this particular brick is a very porous brick, and without routine maintenance, water penetrates through the walls, through the masonry, and gets inside of the building, and it causes damage to the interior walls and the building systems, electrical systems, and various systems within the building. And I can tell you, this has been an ongoing problem. We were visiting the other day. This has been going on for 25 years, and we really have not had a routine as far as keeping up with the waterproofing other than as an on-need basis or an emergency situation. So Bobby Harrington, our Director of Facilities, found and initiated a relationship with Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. According to their website, they have been in business for over 100 years and have offices in Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, and Oklahoma City. We've had some experience with Chamberlain as far as doing an actual repair. The Board of Trustees back in June of this year authorized Chamberlain to do an emergency masonry wall repair that we had where water was actually penetrating through the building and causing damage, and that project was successfully completed. So during the course of that repair, we had Chamberlain come in and do a thorough inspection of our campus, of our walls, they call them facades, and of our flat roof system. You're going to see the slides here in a minute, but there's many slides. They actually came in and photographed and mapped every single exterior wall and every single roof of this entire campus. It's pretty impressive. So, Chamberlain identified for our current purposes in need 12 walls covering over 24,000 square feet that is in need of immediate repair. They're not saying this is discretionary or something that we can wait on. This is something they're saying that we need to do immediately. And the quote for all of the repairs needed on the walls is, as you can see, $215,222. So I'm going to go through these slides so that you can see the areas that we're talking about. I will say that as I was reviewing this afternoon, the majority of the walls that need repair are on the 1983 building, the building we're in right now, and the surrounding areas, which is 36 years old. And there really has not been, obviously, a lot of maintenance that has been done. So on the first 11 pictures that I'm about to show you, you will see that, or Chamberlain reports that the primary problem with these walls is the high probability for moisture intrusion into the building and possibly the roof system. And the corrective action that they are proposing, and they did on this last repair, is to recalk any expansion joints within the walls to tuck point the failed mortar joints, which means the joints get loose and there's no mortar left between the bricks. Power wash the wall section and then apply a sealant. So this first slide that we're looking at is on the south side of the building. It's the south wall system, and what we'll see throughout these slides. And there again, I say Chamberlain came in and actually photographed all of these walls. Of course, Google Earth is a great tool, and if you go to Google Earth, you can see these same slides. So there again, they're concerned about the penetration of water and possibly also into the roof system as well. So it goes between the masonry, gets into the inside walls, and into the roof system, which causes problems, and we'll talk about the roof systems here in a minute. This next slide is a picture of there again, this is on the 1983 building. It's the south wall, it's an upper wall. This is another illustration of the area, there again facing south, which is back here in the parking lot. As you can see, these are pretty large sections. For example, this is 2,500 square feet, and you're seeing the estimated cost for repairs on each one of these walls. This wall happens to be $21,424. Averages around $9 a square foot for the repairs. This is an east wall, and we're looking west towards the wall, and this is upstairs. Here we have another example, 1,100 square feet of the south upper wall, estimated repair cost of $16,093. I actually had to go to Google Earth and look at where this is located. It's tucked up. We have numerous areas where there's different elevations of the building. This campus is obviously grown over the years. This is another section. There again, it's part of the 1983 building. This is around the gym area. One thing I'll point out is you'll see there's a metal roof below the masonry roof, and that's the building that we just purchased. It's on the south side of the campus. Here we have another area. The Chamberlain will circle in yellow some of the areas that they're concerned about, but in this picture it's reflecting, this is an upper west wall, it's reflecting there's some windows that are drawn with yellow as well. This is moving back over towards the north section of the campus. This is in the Hurd Auditorium area, and that would be on the west side where it adjoins the Tyler Morning Telegraph building. Here we have another 2,300 square foot. This is primarily on the north side of the building, looking back towards the building. There again, they're working primarily on these walls that are 36 plus years of age to get them waterproofed. This is not that expensive. It's 2,300 square foot, $1,799, so it must not be in as bad a shape. Here we have the upper north wall. Looking back on the front of the building off of Irwin Street, 3,640 square feet, estimated repair cost of $31,725. This wall is part of our 1950 building, and we might, as you remember, we have a very diverse timeline on our buildings. We go from 1890 to 1949, 1950, to 1983 and on into the 80s. So we have various masonry systems that are aging out in different time periods. So this wall is quite a bit older, but obviously it has not had any attention over the last years, and it's 1,775 square foot, and the cost of repair is $27,311. Now, this next slide, this is obviously the chapel on the east side. It's luckily, it's only an $850 repair. What we have here, there is an exterior wall sheet metal panel that is missing. It's actually a hole in the wall, and we're getting water intrusion directly in that point, and we're also getting, we could possibly get pest intrusion as well. So that's on the facade wall areas. And then we go to roof repairs, which is less expensive because we have replaced the roofs back in 2016. And one thing I'll say is the roof repairs that I'll walk us through does not include any of those 2016 roofs. Those were replaced and they're doing fine, and there's no necessity for repair on those. Now, the roofing deficiencies, as I will show you through the slides, include open flashings, sealant failure, blisters in the roof membrane, and roofing material shrinkage. So as we look at the next slide, and there's many pictures of the deficiencies on the roofing, and I will not go through all of them because of our time constraint for this evening, but I'm going to show you several that will be representative of what the contractor is looking at and what needs to be fixed. And everything there again, they're not saying this is something that we can wait on. This is something that we need to do immediately. We're getting water penetration, which is causing damage and additional problems within our buildings. And here we have, as you can see, we have a open flashing that the contractor says it is caused by the actual membrane shrinking, which these roofs are live. They'll expand and contract. We get water, they freeze. It causes expansion and contraction. So it's just part of the routine maintenance of dealing with these issues. So here's an example that we have and that's a key stuck in that, as a matter of fact. So obviously there's water coming behind there. So in this particular corrective action, they're stating that this flashing needs to be removed, install new flashing, and reseal the existing flashing to the wall and to the tops of the flashings that are covered up. We got a lot of sealant on the roofs. Over the years, when things are installed or repaired, they use a sealant. The sealant gets old, it fails, and at some point in time, it creates leaks, and that's what we're seeing in this particular photograph, and there's other areas within the roof that we're seeing this. So what they're saying here, and on this particular repair, it's only $300, but they need to remove that sealant and clean that up and install a new compatible sealant. Here we have again the same thing we saw on the first slide as far as the joints, and if you looked at our roofs on Google Earth, you would see there is most of our roofs, other than our slate roofs, which I'll get to in a minute, are asphalt or composite roofs. So you're going to have a constant maintenance issue as far as keeping up with the shrinkage and the problems that we're seeing in the flashing. So this roofing material goes up on a parapet wall, and there's a cap that goes on top of that, but they tend to separate, and we're just to the point now where they're aging out and need to be repaired. Here we have an example of the roof itself is blistering, and this is a good representation where the roof blisters. There's water gets underneath there. It expands. It contracts. Once that happens, and it continues to be an issue as far, and this is around a drain, so you have to keep up with that. In this case, the repair on this case is that they will actually cut that blister. They'll allow it to dry, and they'll patch it with a compatible roofing membrane per industry standards. And here, for this particular repair, it'd be $1,600. Lastly, as these roofs age out, the membranes will shrink, and especially at these drain connections because there's moisture issues. Here's a good representative view of that happening. So they have to cut loose this membrane and install a new safety patch around the drain in accordance with industry standards in order to make sure that the roof is no longer leaking. So, I hope this project, this presentation has illustrated to you the need to save for a rainy day, because we're obviously going to have them, and we want to keep ourselves dry. The current trustees, I can tell you right now, their position is that we want to be proactive rather than reactive. And I can tell you, as many years as I've belonged to this church, the general consensus has been to be reactive, and we need to be more proactive, especially as our campus grows. And we want to do that so that we can maintain the beautiful and historical facility that we all call our church home. And I appreciate your time.